Hi, this is Laura Metzger. I'm submitting this video along with my entry for the I Heart Faces Fix It Friday number 130. Today's February 10th, and yeah, I wanted to show you what I went ahead and did with the photo. So anyways, first thing we do is I imported it into Lightroom. I did go ahead and come up with predetermined amounts for my adjustments, which I put in this group and hid. What I just wanted to say, what I really love about this photo by Angie Author at the authorclan.com is how she got way down here and got this big blurry grass right here in the front, and which then had these trees just going way up over this guy's head, and it kind of almost makes him look kind of Lilliputian in a way. I love that, and I think cropping this photo in any way, just it would get rid of that effect, which I happen to really like. So anyway, jumping right in, my first thought when looking at this photo was that it was an overcast day. She probably shot underexposed a little bit to help with her colors. It's always a good little trick to know. But it does need to be kind of unmuddied a bit, and whenever I see that, my very first thought is go to levels. Levels cuts off some of the blacks and some of the whites. In this case, there's just a big gap here. So I wanted to clip these, and my predetermined amount was 12 here and then 218 here. And the way I figured that out was that this is right at the end, this is right at the beginning of this curve, and this takes us right to the beginning of the information that is on the photo. And then just to brighten the whole thing up, I wanted to scoot this over to 1.15. That's looking better. Does seem to have squeegeed some of the gray out of the sky and off of him, giving us better colors and skin tones to work with. Second adjustment, brightness contrast. I'm going to guess that a bunch of people do that. Are going to run to that first. So let's go up a bunch. 43 for brightness, contrast a bit, 9, so we don't just make dark shadows everywhere. Next adjustment I did was vibrant saturation, and this is always one that helps tremendously with photos. So take the vibrance up by 37, take the saturation up by 21, and oh yeah, that's just looking phenomenally better. And then the last adjustment that I wanted to add was color balance. So I'm looking at my notes here. And the only adjustment I wanted to make was to the midtones, and I wanted it to be a little bit warmer, so that would take me to the yellow-blue slider. And my predetermined amount was minus 16 towards the yellow. And now it looks like he's outside on a not freezing cold day anymore. And that's it. That's my initial first adjustments. And, without going any further than this, I think this would, definitely be a good photo. But I wanted to try my hand at post-processing. I don't normally do post-processed photos, but I'm always trying because I feel like it will, I'll usually learn something when I start taking something in a direction that I'm not comfortable with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these original 4 adjustments, and holding down the shift key with this layer selected, I'm going to click here, select all the layers, and then on my Mac I'm going to press Command G, which will then put them into a group and allow me to add some additional adjustments that were just like the originals without having to mess with the original layers. So we'll call that my initial adjustment, in all caps no less. How's the spelling over there? Just meant I can't type today apparently. Anyways, so then my next set of adjustments was, and I tried the best I could to not use a filter, but I have my I have my NYX Color Effects Pro, and I just really like it. And I tried several, but the one that I just ultimately landed on was the Brilliance and Warmth. If I do ever figure out how to do this um, without having to use the filter, then I will certainly make a video and let you folks know about it. So Brilliance and Warmth. Automatically at 50 for the Brilliance. I'm going to leave that there. I think Brilliance is kind of like Vibrance. That's kind of what it brings to it. The Warmth, it was at 74. That was a predetermined amount. It just automatically uses the last setting that you had. That was what I used. So I'm going to just leave it right there. I'm going to click OK to apply it and let it run through its calculations there, and voila. And then that's the only filter I'm going to add here. I'll minimize this and put it back up there in the top. Then from there I have 3 more adjustments I want to add. I want to add 2 photo filters, so I'll go to the adjustments, photo filter, and I want to add the warming filter, and I want to add it at 18%, not 25. And then I'll go ahead and I'll close this, and instead of trying to wiggle around and make another photo filter, I'm just going to make a copy of this one here, just my go-to over there. And the second filter I want to add is a yellow filter, but I don't want to add too much yellow because then it just looks kind of weird. And I just wanted to add that one at 8%. And the last adjustment I wanted to do was another brightness and contrast adjustment. And this time I want to go blow out that sky there. 85 for the brightness, 13 for the contrast, and that just looks horrible. The grass and everything looks fabulous, but what I'm going to do then is I'm going to mask the sky back in so that it doesn't look so blown out. So making sure we have black selected, I want to go to gradient tool. I want to select the black to transparent gradient and make sure that I have the linear gradient selected. Normal, 80%, we'll leave it at 83. How's that? Sounds good. And then I just want to start popping the sky back in. And I don't want it to be round. I want it to be more of an arch. So if you look what I'm doing here, I'm trying to keep it from being round. And I want to make sure that the edges over here are all the way to black, so then all that sky is back in there. And I'm doing big long pulls because it'll gradate the amount from black to white much more. Actually, I could have gotten away with doing a radial gradient on that one. I just feel like I have a little bit more control. And what I'm doing too is I'm also going down around the edges, so it really focuses your attention. Obviously, your eye's always going to go to the brightest portion of the photo. So I'm just adding an additional level of contrast by having the edges be dark and the center be white. And I'm going to just go a little bit over him so that it's a little bit better. And maybe I just want to go back a little bit here. If I switch to white, the white will be my primary color. There we go. That looks all right. Just keep messing with it a little bit, see where. Okay, I like that. That's pretty good. Anyway, so this is my processed adjustment, so that, I mean, it looks like it's been post-processed a little bit in Photoshop, and just kind of neat. I know that's really popular these days. So I'm going to go ahead and, with this layer selected, I'm going to hold down the Shift key, click here to select all the layers. Again, on my Mac, I'm going to press Command G to group those in there, and then I will call this post-processed. And yes, I know my other one is spelled incorrectly, but what I'll do is I'll put both of these adjustments on the websites with mouse overs with this original image down here at the bottom. Let's just turn off our adjustment so you can see the before and then the after. And you can mouse over them to your heart's content and look at the the difference between the two. Anyways, I hope this helped you solve a problem that you were having or gave you some ideas to inspire you. Please feel free to leave me a comment, shoot me an email on the website. Anyways, thanks for watching.